Are you supposed to bring your swimming pool pump inside for the winter season to protect it, like part of the winterizing process? This question surprised me, but it's actually a really common question. A lot of people actually do that. They go that extra step, and I probably, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I saw it in the pump manufacturer's instructions. The makers of the pump say bring your pump inside in the winter. The only problem is in-ground pools by electrical code, and I think this is most areas of Canada and the US, an in-ground pool pump needs to be hardwired. And hardwired, electrically speaking, means not a plug. It needs to be not a plug. So that means like a permanent electrical connection, which means if you're not an electrician or somebody who can make a permanent electrical connection safely, you have to hire an electrician to come and disconnect your pump every season such that you can store your pump indoors for the winter. I was very surprised to read this. First of all, because I've been closing and winterizing pools in Ontario, Canada for 20 years before I learned about manufacturers saying, no, you got to bring the pump inside. And I kind of feel like this is a situation where they're just protecting their liability here. If they said leave your pump outside, it's totally cool. Somebody's pump is going to break over the winter season, and those people are going to want a new pump. And you know what? They'd probably end up getting it because I think that's how lawyers and the law works. But in this case, they're telling you, no, bring it inside. They don't care if it costs you extra to do so. If you want it to last as long as possible, bring it in. And I guess I would agree with that. If you want it to last as long as possible, like how could it not last longer bringing your pool pump inside versus leaving it outside? And I guess this is more important than ever because now you probably have a variable speed pool pump versus a relatively simple mechanical single speed pool pump, which is what it used to be. It used to be a few $100s for a pool pump. Now it's more like a few $1,000s, depending on the model that you get. So there's a real interest here in protecting these bad boys. So I guess I would now agree, changing some advice that I've been giving for 20, 30 years now, which is just leave your pump outside. Just leave your pump outside. Everybody does it. It winterizes just fine. Like, it doesn't look the best. It'll probably wear from the snow and ice, but it won't hurt it, and it'll start up, and you should get your full service life of this 7 to 12 years range out of this pump and motor. Nowadays, with a computer-controlled permanent magnet, totally enclosed fan-cooled variable speed pool pump and motor that costs you $1,000 or a couple $1,000, maybe now it's worth the effort. Maybe now, since the pump is so much more high tech than it used to be and so much more money than it used to be, what if you got like 2 more seasons of life out of it because you've been going the extra mile and taking it off and bringing it inside? And again, I cannot stress this enough. I don't want the average person going out there and just monkeying around with a 220 volt electrical connection. You don't know anything about electricity or how to test for it or how to work on it safely. These are things that you do when you understand and are experienced and know how to work on these things, not if you don't. The voltage supply to a modern day variable speed pool pump is like the same going to your electric dryer. It's a big service. It's one of the largest electrical services in your home. So you definitely want to respect that. It's more than enough to be a problem. And don't forget, swimming pools and pool equipment, it's like a wet area. So this is kind of like a worst case scenario for if you don't know what you're doing with electricity. Certainly don't find yourself out there monkeying around with this kind of thing. If you want to disconnect your pool pump and bring it in for the winter, or hire an electrician to disconnect so you can safely bring it in for the winter, plug the pipes or cover them, tape them off with some bags, do something so that you don't leave those pipes exposed and open, because you don't want critters and rodents getting inside of your pool plumbing and potentially causing some damage in there and setting up a home that you got to clear out later on. But other than that, there's no disadvantage to bringing in the pump in. There's really only advantage, but it is extra work. If you're asking, is it possible? Can I leave it out? I do not want to hire an electrician, or I don't want to take it in. It is my experience. I don't like to go against what the manufacturer is telling you to do. If they tell you to do something on your super expensive equipment, do what they say. I'm not the person to get involved in the middle, but I do want to give you my experience. My experience tells me that you can leave swimming pool pumps outside all winter long, even in freezing conditions, so long as it's been winterized properly. Winterizing a pool pump properly means removing the winterizing ports, draining the water from it entirely, And that's pretty much it. It's not hard to winterize a pool pump. You just have to make sure you get all the water out of there. If there's zero water inside of the pump, no damage can happen. That's kind of the main thing here. The pump itself is waterproof in every way, shape, or form. So if it's all closed up, buttoned up, the power's shut off to it for the winter, and it's been winterized properly, nothing's going to happen to that pool pump, and it's going to start up and run just fine for you in the spring. If you want the maximum lifetime out of it, because this is a huge investment these days, maybe it is worth the extra effort. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.